Hello everyone and welcome to the final best of 3 in the Intel Extreme Masters Season 2 follow-up tournament. So we're gonna have 2 or 3 more maps here, and then we are certainly going to know which of these 2 players is going to go to the finals. And it's going to start with an Orc Mirror on Lost Temple, and it's of course going to be between Ciara and Protois. And thus far in the tournament, Protois has not been doing all too well against Ciara, losing 2-1 to him in the group stage and losing 2-0 in the first round in this follow-up tournament. And he's tried it with Undead twice in the follow-up tournament and lost. He's tried it with Human once in the regular season in the group stage and lost. And he's tried it with Orc twice, and one of those matches he was able to win. And that was on Lost Temple, and if I recall correctly, even with the exact same spawn positions that we do have here, as Ciara is spawning at the bottom of Lost Temple. I'm gonna start with the Blade Master, of course, on this map, and so is Protois, who's spawning on the left hand side. So yeah, perhaps that is reason for some hope for Protois, as he has proven previously that he's at least capable of taking down Ciara in this exact matchup with this exact spawn position. So let's see how well he's going to be able to do this time. So the first question is going to be whether both of the Blade Masters are immediately going to go towards the middle here and start dancing around the fountain and start picking up these smaller creep camps, especially the trolls first, eventually the slightly bigger orange camps here as well, or if one of them is going to decide to go more passive early on and start with the natural expansion. So the Blade Masters have now spawned. Actually Ciara slightly slower with his Blade Master, and it looks like both of them together with their first grunts are going to head towards the middle. And so we're gonna see, naturally, just given by the spawn positions, it would be, yeah, as I said, natural for Protois to take this troll camp first, whereas for Ciara, this one is just yeah, more nearby, and it looks like that's exactly what we're going to be seeing here. But actually the wow, you see, that is very nicely done by Protois. Actually, both of the grunts are, at least were supposed to scout the opponent's Blade Master, and both of them right now know about what's happening, but Protois very nicely walled off the left hand side of this little path here and just triggered the AI of Ciara's grunt to head a little bit closer towards the creeps. And yeah, look at how much damage he has been taking just because of that. So a very nice start there by Protois, completely taking the first grunt of Ciara out of this match, at least for the time being, and that should give him, yeah, at least some momentum in these early skirmishes around the fountain. Ring of Protection though for the German, whereas the Danish Orc player did get a slightly better, well, not that slightly, but yeah, definitely better Gloves of Haste, and he's trying to go for the level 2 here, but it looks like Protois is not going to let that happen. Let's see who's getting the last hit. It is actually Ciara who does get the last hit, but at a pretty high price. He's not level 2 yet, and both his low HP grunt and his Blade Master are now in some serious trouble. There is one Windwalk available for Ciara. There is no Windwalk currently available for Protois, for Protois, but Ciara seems to be clearly in trouble, trying to pull the creeps here, but they don't feel like participating in this fight, and therefore the first grunt kill already goes to Protois after only a couple of minutes played here in this game, and his Blade Master is boosted up to level 2 here as well. Let's see, Protois is trying to block the grunt in, but Ciara just barely squeezes out, but still has to try to make it out there somehow. And Protois gathering more and more mana, didn't use another Windwalk, whereas Ciara was forced to do so. So currently he's out of mana, needs to make sure not to get surrounded, and he just once again barely squeezes out. In the meantime, tech-wise, shop is coming, tech about halfway through for both of the players. Protois' tech is slightly ahead. The Blade Master has to turn around here apparently, as Protois has been walling off the the little gap here in between the forest and the fountain. Actually, there was a lot of mana on the Blade Master of Protois. I think he could have forced a town portal here, but at the end of the day, Ciara is able to escape. And Protois is just creeping here for the time being, which may be a mistake. He's giving the Blade Master access to the heal fountain here, and the grunts can finish off this creep camp, which means that while Protois is going to slightly extend his XP lead, Ciara is going to be able to get the also important level 2, and at the same time he's able to heal up his Blade Master. So at the end of the day, while Ciara seemed to be under a lot of pressure here, all that happened was one of his grunts went down, which isn't, you know, all too small a deal, but it's still something that the Danish player is definitely capable of coming back from. But other than that, XP is pretty much similar, and yeah, everything else is also pretty much similar, except for the one grunt kill. Grunts continue creeping here. In the meantime, the grunts of Ciara are heading down towards its natural expansion. I'm assuming Shadowhunters should be in production right now. Let's just quickly take a look at who's going to be able to get the Nullbrute here. It looks like Ciara is actually not able to do so. A little bit too impatient. Grunts of Ciara are waiting in front of the natural Spirit Lodge and Beast Tree coming on both sides, so both of them are going to go for the standard approach here on tier 2. Fourth grunt has already been rebuilt. The Shadowhunter of both of the players out right now, and yeah, Ciara is going to give control over the middle, at least for the time being, to Protois. Just going to creep his own Shadowhunter up to level 2. Gonna get, hopefully for him, Claws or a Circlet. And the Shadowhunter of Protois can start creeping in the middle. Intelligence picked up by the Blade Master here quite quickly, as he probably was afraid of Ciara's Blade Master roaming around nearby. And what did he get? Gloves of Haste for the second time. Heal Potion already bought onto Protois' Shadowhunter, so anticipating some hero focus eventually, and that's a very, you know, usual means of starting those fights on tier 2, just in case, you know, Protois didn't know that Ciara wasn't going to combat in the middle, and therefore I guess a fight on tier 2 was what he anticipated, therefore he picked up the heal potion. Ciara didn't, and the majority of the red camp here is going to Protois, but now the creep check is going to come in. The first grunt is about to fall already, but Protois is level 3 on his Blade Master in return. The first grunt is now falling very awkward position for the Shadowhunter, who is taking quite a beating there by the Gnaws, Hex and Ensnare going onto the Raider of Ciara. The Raider of Protois is being hexed as well, but pulled back in time. Both of them are Spirit Linked. The Raider of Ciara has already fallen, so the first target usually at this stage of the game, the first raiders of either player, are going to be taken down right now. But Ciara had to spend a second hex already, but I think he should be able to afford it, as he has a level 2 Shadowhunter compared to only level 1 Shadowhunter of his opponent, who is not really focusing all too greatly. He's got a lot of units running around trying to, you know, finish off stuff that is running away, and therefore it looks like Ciara is getting a lot more damage output onto the field, and we can clearly see that affecting the fight here, as Protois' Shadowhunter has to fall back now. Ciara's Shadowhunter is in a bit of trouble, but Ciara has a lot more units left standing here, at least at the time for the time being. There is no mana available for Heal Wave on the Shadowhunter, so he's gotta spend the Hex on the Blade Master, and the Raider didn't, well, Protois didn't realize that he had the Raider reinforcing there. He could have ensnared the Shadowhunter and perhaps killed it, but didn't get that done. Shadowhunter of Protois is still not level 2. Once again, the two next raiders are joining the fight immediately. They will be taken down by, you know, the opponent's Blade Masters. Both of them do get Spirit Linked here, so both of the players very similarly microing, but neither of them is going to be able to keep their Raider alive. But there is another Raider on the field on the side of Ciara, who seems to be in the driver's seat here in this fight. But the Blade Master of Protois, level 3 Blade Master, is dealing quite a bit of damage to this Raider. He has to be careful as well, though. And he's even forced to Town Portal out, and the Raider, as the Hex has ended, was even able to run away far enough in order to survive. But this means that both the Null Overseers will be going to the Danish player here, so yeah, quite a lot of XP. And two potentially very crucial items. Wand of the Wind is the first one, and the big invo portion is the second one. So two very, very good items here for Ciara, which he's certainly going to try to use to their maximum potential in future fights. You know, a nicely timed Cyclone on the Shadow Hunter to prevent healing, or perhaps just on the Blade Master a couple of times to stop the damage output for a while. And it's not like there's an infinite number of disenchants on the side of Protois, who wants to use Spirit Link, disenchant the opponent's Spirit Link, perhaps disenchant some nicely timed Hex, etc. So just having that additional means of you know, disabling a hero or unit for a while can be a great asset in an upcoming fight. So Claws of Attack plus 6 here for Protois, who has grabbed his natural expansion, level 2.5 Shadow Hunter, level 3.5 Blade Master, and both of them at 50 supply, but Ciara really has a lot of walkers here, 4 walkers to be precise, 2 raiders, 3 grunts, no Kodo Beast within this army, even though his Warmill has already finished, so I'm not really sure if he's... I mean, he's got great items, he's got the superior hero levels with his level 3 Shadow Hunter, but he doesn't have a Kodo. It looks like he's still going to be willing to take a fight here as he's creep checking his opponent, who just found the healing ward, the first one immediately being taken down by the Blade Master, though, and the Kodo up front in this fight is being the first target here. Shadow Hunter still not even close to level 3. The Kodo Beast is taking more and more damage. The first raider of Ciara is being ensnared though and taking a lot of damage as well. Blade Master is being cycloned here for the first time. Dispel is coming in, but he dispelled a lot of his own Spirit Link here as well, so I'm not really sure how useful a Dispel that just was. The Blade Master is going to have to use the Immo Potion here soon, thus so. And the Kodo Beast has fallen right now, so the only trump in this fight for the moment for Protois seems to be that he does have the Pians in the battle as well. Another raider of Ciara is going to fall here. Protois morphing the Spirit Walker here in time. Another healing wave is coming in. The Shadow Hunter of Ciara still has 2 more heal waves as well as a Clarity Potion in his inventory, so it doesn't look like he's going to run out of heal waves anytime soon. Now using the Clarity, next heal wave did come in already, but his last raider is about to fall, whereas Protois was able to keep 2 of his raiders alive. So the Shadow Hunter has reached level 3 by now. The Walker has been taken down eventually as well here. Clarity Potion now cancelled by the Shadow Hunter of Protois, who seems to be falling behind further and further. Nevertheless, in this fight, another heal wave of Protois did come in. Ciara has to reposition here as the majority of his walkers is pretty low on HP as well. He's waiting for the mana regeneration here on the Shadow Hunter, and he desperately needs 1 more heal wave, I think, to finally come out clearly on top in this fight. But everything is running lower and lower on HP. Finally, he's able to throw the heal wave right now if he eventually realizes that, but actually Ciara is the one player who's forced to retreat. Both of them have lost basically their entire front, but Ciara has been able to keep all of his walkers alive. He's been able to finally add the Kodo, and it looks like he's willing to commit to fighting further here, but the Shadow Hunter is not going to make it out alive of that fight, and now all of a sudden it looks like Ciara is going to be the one who is going to end up losing here, and he's the one forced to pull the town portal. So definitely a mistake there to re-engage in the end again, as all of his walkers were in ethereal shape and that didn't really contribute all too much to the fight anymore. And it looks like the game may have just shifted again. Ciara in the meantime has put up an expansion though, which is going to be scouted by the Blade Master right now of Protois, who's using the fountain in the middle right now. It's 47 supply for Protois, 44 for Ciara, and yeah, the game all of a sudden seems to be wide open. This expansion is running for the time being. Blade Master of Ciara is coming in to defend as well as a raider and the rest of his army. But it's only 1 raider, so this Blade Master isn't in any serious trouble. There's no reveal currently for Ciara, but he's able to keep his expansion alive for the moment. Blade Master is very low on HP. There's 1 heal wave available for the Shadow Hunter, so maybe just by some pure hero focus he might be able to defend his expansion here, and I think that's his best course of action. The Blade Master of Ciara is coming in, as I said, trying to do some hero focus. U-Wave is reinforcing this Blade Master with a lot of HP though, and it looks like all of a sudden the Blade Master of Ciara is going to be the first one in trouble. The Blade Master of Protois really with a lot of damage output here. In the meantime, the Shadow Hunter is gonna take a little while longer, and it looks like this expansion might be dying before this Shadow Hunter of Ciara is going to be out again, so no economic advantage there on the side of the Danish player, and maybe he's paying the price right now for being too quick about being willing to engage there. Not a Kodo Beast yet. An expansion coming on top of things, which, you know, would have put him in a good position come late game anyways. Then again, there were some arguments for taking that fight as well, like the superior Shadowhunter level, more mana on the Shadowhunter, awkward position of the Kodo Beast. But it turned out not to be enough, and now the game, as I said, seems to be wide open again. Shadowhunter of Protois with 100 mana, Shadowhunter of Ciara, well, just out right now with about 200 mana, and he's coming in from the top first Hero cast immediately. Both of the Blade Masters are in some trouble. Neither of them do have any items, and it looks like Ciara's Blade Master is the one to fall first here. The Shadowhunter is going to have to fall back, and now Ciara, due to the ensnare that Protois has available to himself, is going to be forced to take this fight without his Blade Master, but it looks like he's going to be able to do that just fine, as the Blade Master of Protois is already very low, and Protois does not have any more means of healing, so yeah, he's got a lot of low HP units, and with those, it looks like he's not going to be able to continue fighting despite having the Blade Master on the field here. So I guess his best course of action might be to fall back here, quickly heal up, regenerate some mana, and then engage. Yeah, maybe engage again as long as there is no Blade Master on the field for his opponent. Really difficult decision to make. More reinforcements about to spawn as well. A Grunt, a Raider, and the Walker soon to be out. But it looks like he is not gonna get aggressive immediately again. Just perhaps trying to make use of the map control he is gaining here. Maybe go here and then take the red camp. A little bit surprising though, in my opinion, because right now, as the entire army of Protois is looking to be in very strong shape, I think he could just pull the creeps here and kill the Ogre Lord without Ciara being able to do all too much about it. And it looks like that's exactly what Ciara is going to be able to do right now. So Protois is really giving a lot of momentum, or giving up a lot of momentum here. I mean, the Blade Master is nearby, but just that he's giving his opponent a chance to get this creep is maybe a big mistake. But then again, it looks like, wow, he's actually... He didn't get the last hit here. He did steal the item though, the Medallion of Courage. And now he's gonna come in and try and punish Ciara, who is taking this creep camp very carefully though, is able to immediately disengage with these creeps and yeah, put himself into a pretty decent position here on the high ground, on the choke, and therefore it doesn't look like Protois is willing to take that fight. The Blade Master is back. Not sure if Protois knows about that yet, but you know, he should have the feeling that it can't be all too long, at least until this Blade Master is back. And the players are engaging once again. Blade Master of Ciara is immediately going for the Kodo. The Kodo of Ciara has been ensnared as well, so no eating for the time being. Protois is going to eat the Blade Master, dealing a lot of damage to the Grunt here. The Blade Master of Ciara running around a little bit now, finally engaging against the Raider and dealing plenty of damage here. He's gotta be careful though, not to take all too much damage. The Kodo Beast of Ciara is finally able to charge forward here and eventually should be able to eat stuff. Hex onto the Kodo Beast of Protois here, and Ciara really seems to be winning up on the top of this fight here with this front, you know, just climbing down on Raider after Raider and taking down more and more of those. In the meantime, those two Grunts are falling back. One of them is falling, the other one is not worth the time for the Blade Master of Protois. He's definitely making the right call there, not continuing to chase. The Kodo Beast of Protois is now finally going to be taken down. He only has one of those, and there is another heal wave available on the Blade Master of Ciara. And look at the back line of Ciara still standing incredibly strong here, and he seems to be clearly on top in this fight, and the Blade Master is in trouble as well for Protois and is going down, and Protois is losing the first map here. A very, very good first game here to start a series, in my opinion. Protois and Ciara really from the get-go starting to fight here in the middle right after taking their first troll camps, and basically the game never eased off. Ciara, well, Protois getting a bit of perhaps a tiny head start in the beginning, killing the one Grunt, getting the inferior item though, and then the first big fight ensued in the middle. Ciara clearly won that one. Like a minute later, the next big fight ensued at the Goblin Merchant in between the two spawn positions, where at the end it was Ciara who gave his advantage away, losing his Shadow Hunter there, then not able to defend his expansion in the next fight, losing his Blade Master, and then in the final fight he was still able to overcome his opponent though, and he's able to take the first map here, and he raises the overall map score of this matchup, Ciara against Protois, to a 5-1, and now Protois has to win the next 2 maps in a row in order to go to the finals, and the first of those potentially 2 maps will be Turtle Rock